Welcome into the show. Yeah. On a Monday. Here we go. Man. I'm Jeff Michael. This is Sports with Balls. What a weekend. Golly. Unbelievable. Hope you guys are doing good. I know I am. Awesome. Awesome weekend. Hope you guys won some money on your bets. I really didn't bet this weekend, man. I really didn't. It was a wild weekend and going to get wilder as the NFL playoffs near. Well, I say near, they're actually here. So let's get ready. We're going to talk about that here in a little bit. Today being December the 8th. Welcome into a Monday edition of Sports with Balls, or otherwise known as the Jeff Michael Show, because there's mean people out there. I'll tell you that much, man. The hackers of the world have hacked my Sports with Balls site on Facebook. So I am now doing Sports with Balls via a Facebook page called the Jeff Michael Show. Because I've got interesting information coming up about that, I got to sign some papers today, and then I'll tell you guys. But, yeah, the hackers took over my site on Facebook, started posting weird reels. It absolutely sucks. I'm trying to get back with Facebook to, get my page back. It's absolutely effing annoying. I can tell you that much, man. Absolutely effing annoying. So, here we go on a Monday edition of Sports with Balls. Like I said, aka the Jeff Michael Show. It is January the 8th, National Bubble Bath Day. Get your butt in a bubble bath. Clean your desk day. Mine's pretty clean. It's not too bad. Coming of age day. National Fourth Graders Day, which is interesting. What else we got? National Irish or English Toffee Day. Whatever. There's another one in here that's absolutely crazy, man. It is National Snuggle a Chicken Day. That's correct. You did not hear that wrong. It is National Snuggle a Chicken Day. So go do that. And if nothing else, man, it's Elvis Presley's birthday today. And if you see right over here, my Memphis helmet, I am from Memphis. I love Elvis. I don't listen to him all the time in the car. I'm not wearing a beard and singing his songs, but it is Elvis Presley's birthday. So go jam out to some Elvis Presley today. You can't go wrong with that. But welcome into the show. Big one today. Huge show today. And obviously brought to you by Christian's Tailgate, which, by the way, will be absolutely slammed tonight. Cannot wait for this national championship football game tonight at 6:30. So get there early, get your table. Christian's Tailgate, there's 5 Houston area locations. Get in there early, man. It's going to be an effing blast. I cannot wait to get up there and watch the national championship game tonight. Michigan, Washington going at it. Going to be fun. Go to christianstailgate.com. Find one near you. Get your appetite ready. Get your drink on. I'll see you at Christian's Tailgate tonight in a little bit. Also, Modern Home Improvement and Remodeling, Josh Smith over there, 832-930-0156. Cannot wait. Cannot wait for tonight. Josh, by the way, mentioned $500. Mention Sports with Balls. Get $500 off your remodel when you mention Sports with Balls to Modern Home Improvement and Remodeling, 832-930-0156. All right, today's show going to be interesting, man. We're going to get into some breaking news. There were some coaches that got fired throughout the evening, so we'll talk about that. We're going to definitely talk about yesterday's NFL games, and we're going to get into the playoffs coming up. I'll tell you about the seedings and who's playing who and what I think is going to happen, and it's pretty interesting. Let's see, the draft. The draft is set. The draft is set, the NFL draft, and there's some quarterbacks that are coming out this year, and it's going to be fantastic to watch. This may be one of the most highly anticipated drafts, at least for me, that I've seen in a long time. There is some talent coming out of this one. And I think like NFL changing talent. Like Roger Goodell should be extremely excited about this draft. What else we got? The NCAA championship game tonight, as I mentioned. We'll talk about that for a little while. And that's going to lead into this Jim Harbaugh thing. I've got some really strong opinions on what's going to happen with Jim Harbaugh, and I believe that I am correct. And I'm hearing from sources I'm correct. So take it for what you will. Bill Belichick, speaking of head coaches, the head coaching carousel has already absolutely begun. So like I said, we'll get into that. And then, of course, at the end of the show, we'll get into the parlay of the day. All right, let's get into the games yesterday because, look, it's a 30-minute show. We blast through this. Let's get going. We saw Saturday the Steelers beat the Ravens. And you know what? At what cost? TJ Watt sprained his MCL. And they've got a huge – obviously, they're in the playoffs now. And if TJ Watt is not playing and they're playing the Buffalo Bills, that is an absolute devastating blow for the Pittsburgh Steelers. If he plays, they have a shot against Buffalo. TJ Watt not playing against Buffalo, Buffalo's hot right now. That's tough. That's tough, man. And the Steelers are a good team. They're not a great team, but they're good. So that's going to be rough for the Steelers to overcome if TJ can't play. We'll get into that in a minute as well. The Houston freaking Texans, y'all. Whoa. Surprise of the playoffs by far. What's more surprising is the way Jacksonville Jaguars lost this thing. Didn't they started off 8-3 and then just absolutely blew it. 1-5, I think, after that. It was a miserable performance in the last 4 or 5 months. I'm sorry, not 4 or 5 months, but 2 months for the Jacksonville Jaguars. It was unreal to watch what was supposed to be Trevor Lawrence and the guy in Jacksonville. Look at the talent he has around him. Calvin Ridley, Travis Etienne, his old college teammate. He's got tight ends. He's got, man, Evan Ingram's awesome. He has so much talent around him. Is this Trevor Lawrence's fault, or is this offensive coordinator fault? Is this head coach fault? I don't know. But there's all this he is him talk. Is he him is what I'm trying to get at. Is Trevor Lawrence the guy? I have my reservations now. I do. I don't know if Trevor Lawrence is the guy. I don't. And as much as the Houston Texans and C.J. Stroud did an amazing job, and, congratulations to them for winning the division, I feel like the Jacksonville Jaguars absolutely lost this division. It was theirs. The division was in the hands of the Jags. It wasn't even close. They were 8-3. Then it was a runaway. And they just absolutely – and look, I get it. Trevor Lawrence was hurt a little bit. I understand that. But, man, all that talent in Jacksonville – and you blow it, that was absolutely devastating for the Jaguars. And I don't know. Look, Trevor Lawrence may just be an average quarterback. After going through seasons, you're like, man, he's awesome. He's awesome. But is this the offensive coordinator's fault? Is this head coach fault? I don't know. But Trevor Lawrence and the Jacksonville Jaguars blew it. Blew the AFC South. And the Houston Texans, rookie head coach, rookie quarterback, did an amazing job. And look, they closed it out. The Jaguars didn't. And the Houston Texans, the surprise of the NFL, will now be in the playoffs. Wow. And every year, we have this every year. We got it every year, and this is no different. But a good job for the Houston Texans. We'll get into their playoff matchup here in a little bit. Bengals killed the Browns in a just a game that wasn't even. You know what the highlight of the Bengals-Browns game was? Was Jake Browning's girlfriend. That's what's breaking the internet right now is old Jake Browning's girlfriend. And where's Browning going to go? He put on a hell of a show. Burrow was hurt most of the season. This kid played good. He may get a job next year. Who knows? Vikings and Lions. Lions beat up on them 30-20. Oh, unbelievable matchup coming up for the Lions. I cannot wait, and we'll get into that here in a little bit. Titans clean up on the Jaguars, like I said. An absolute just embarrassing loss for the Jaguars. Embarrassing loss. And the big the big takeaway from this game would be Derrick Henry is he's not coming back to Tennessee. So where is Derrick Henry going to land? Interesting question to try to get to in the offseason. New York Jets beat the Patriots, and of course, Bill Belichick. Look, guys, we reported that Bill Belichick's out in New England. He reported to work this morning, answered questions. He's going into this just like he's the head coach of next season. He said he's willing to make some changes. So we'll talk about that in a little bit as well, as far as Bill Belichick and if he's going to stay in New England. Who knows? Saints killed the Falcons at a 9-8 season. Very, very disappointing season for both those teams. And so the breaking news, the head coach of the Atlanta Falcons is out. Mr. Arthur is gone. So I don't think it's that big of a deal. I really don't. Arthur Smith being fired from the Atlanta Falcons, it's okay. There's always head coaches fired. And the other head coach that was fired, and I was going to bring it up in a minute, is Washington Commanders head coach, Ron Rivera. He's gone. And along with both these guys and their staff, these are just changes that need to be made. We knew Ron Rivera was out. Arthur Smith, sort of a shock, but the Panthers actually fire their GM Scott Fitera after a 2-15 season, and they bring in a basketball guy, which is very, very interesting. And they bring in a 4-time NBA champ. What's his name? Something Myers. Bob Myers. He was an NBA executive who built the Golden State Warriors. So they're going to try to take a guy from the NBA. Look, business is business. Can he do it? Good for them. He's a 4-time NBA champion, and he built the Golden State Warriors dynasty before stepping down to work in TV. Now he lands in the NFL. Good hire for Carolina to try to get back on their feet. Look, you're not going to do anything unless Bryce Young is him, right? Unless he's the guy. And I didn't see a ton for Bryce Young. I saw some heart. He got hurt a couple of times. But so far as number 1 and number 2, as the NBA draft goes, CJ Stroud is blowing Bryce Young out the water. But year one, I want tempered expectations for these quarterbacks, right? We've seen it before. We've seen guys come light the league up and then just fade away. And then we've also seen guys come in. It takes them a couple of years to get going, and boom, they blow the NFL out of the water. So I'm not going to sit here and tell you who's going to have the better career. Of course, Bryce Young only won 2 games, and CJ Stroud's in the playoffs. So take it for what it is. Buccaneers and Panthers. Baker Mayfield quietly has had one of the best seasons in the NFL. And the only reason that we're not singing Baker Mayfield praises is because it's Baker Mayfield. But the Bucs win their 3rd straight division championship. They're in the playoffs again. They will face a team that is really hurting. Get into that in a minute. Bears and Packers. Packers get in the playoffs as well, 17-9. That's another shocker for me. Jordan Love had an incredible season, guys. He threw for another 300-yard game and 2 touchdowns yesterday. Jordan Love may be the future of the Green Bay Packers. And I'll be honest, I wasn't on board with that. I wasn't fully on board with it. We're going to find out. What else we got? Raiders beat the Broncos. Giants absolutely destroying the Eagles. Talk about that in a minute. Golly, what happened? Seahawks beat the Cardinals. Chiefs barely get past the Chargers in a game where nobody started. Rams beat the 49ers. Cowboys beat the Commanders in a blowout. Cowboys look good. And the Bills, of course, last night. Bills and Dolphins were already in the playoffs prior to this game. They were fighting for the number 2 seed. Bills win it. Good football game. Bad coaching by Miami, I think. But Bills win 21-14. Josh Allen had 2 picks. He's going to have interceptions. You just hope that his touchdowns are more than his interceptions. That's basically what you're hoping for with Josh Allen. Those are your scores yesterday. And now let's get into what's happening next weekend, because it's wild card weekend, and man, there are some dingers. Browns. This is the first game off the slate. Cleveland Browns and the aforementioned Houston Texans in Houston, Saturday, 3:30 Central Time on NBC. This is an interesting game. Right now, the line, it started off at Cleveland -2. It moved to 2.5 already. Joe Flacco seems very, very poised. This is not a weather game. You know, Houston plays in a dome or retractable roof at least. CJ Stroud, 4,100 yards, 23 TDs, and 5 interceptions in a record-breaking rookie season. Fantastic. Houston's defense, suspected sometimes, for sure. For sure. The Browns look to be on fire. This is a tough game for the Houston Texans. And here's why. They have a problem running the football. Major problem running the football. And the Browns have a pretty good edge rusher. 2 of them. Clowney. I don't know how the Texans get out of this. And I'm not picking this one to be a surprise. I'm excited for the Texans and the future for them. But I think Cleveland is on a collision course with Baltimore. I think everybody wants to think the NFL wants that. So I love the story. But Singletary, the running back for Houston, only has 898 yards on the season and only 4 touchdowns. That's it. In fact, their rushing touchdowns, it might be 6 on the season. That's not going to get it done versus the Browns. You're going to have to control the clock. Their wide receivers are on fire. Joe Flacco's on fire. Joe Flacco's poised. This isn't a nervous game. Rookie CJ Stroud, probably a little nervous. Look who he's going up against. The number 1 defense in the NFL. That's a tough task. Next game, 7 o'clock, Dolphins and Chiefs. Absolutely blast. I cannot wait to this. This is in Kansas City. It looks like it's going to be around 19 degrees. If it's 19 degrees, this is why you play for home field advantage. This is why last week was so huge for the Kansas City Chiefs. The Miami Dolphins are not going to be able to come in to Kansas City in teen-degree weather and win that game. That's not happening. Kansas City's going to love this. I think Kelsey and Mahomes have a field day. I think they run the ball. Clyde Edwards-Helaire. You've got a bunch of guys in there. Depends on who's healthy for the Chiefs. But Pacheco, this is going to be a freezing game. And Miami, unfortunately, is from Miami. So tough task for Tua Tagovailoa. And I believe that's why last night it was so upsetting. The Bills, look, did we want to see Bills? Yep. Maybe we will see it. But Miami did not. They wanted no part of going to Kansas City. And guess what? They are. And as of right now, the weather is supposed to be 19 degrees. Yeah, good luck, Miami. All right, on Sunday, Steelers take on the Bills. Like I said, I believe this is a playoff game. And as of right now, TJ Watt has a sprained ACL. And guess what? The line on this game is Bills minus 9.5. That's right, a playoff game. 9.5. That's more than the Packers-Cowboys game. And you want to know why? TJ Watt's not playing. There's no way. His knee looked bad, and unfortunately, he led the league in sacks. He is the number 1 defensive player in the league, probably. And when you don't have your number 1 defensive player in the league versus a Bills offense like that, I kind of get why it's 9.5. I do. And I wish the Steelers nothing but luck in this game. But if TJ Watt's not playing, they're not winning. That's not a shocker. All right, next game, 3:30, Packers and Cowboys. Guys, there's so much to this game. There's so much to this game. Nobody's even brought this up yet. But just imagine if Mike McCarthy loses at home, first round to the Green Bay Packers, his old team. What's Jerry Jones do? Bill Belichick's out there. Harbaugh's probably coming to the NFL. There's a bunch of names in the hat. If Mike McCarthy is ousted in the first round again, what does Jerry Jones do? If you're a Cowboy fan, what do? Look, guys, it's completely possible. You can have bad days. The line sits at 7.5. That's not a ton. And Green Bay is playing pretty good football, and they're healthy. The over-under is 49.5. I'll probably take the over. I think for Green Bay to win, it might have to be the under. But this is the most interesting football game. like with long-term effects, I think, of the entire first round of the playoffs or wild card weekend. Because if Mike McCarthy loses this football game in Dallas, I think he'll be fired. I think Jerry Jones will be like, I can't do this anymore. That is a huge, huge football game. And how many times have you seen Cowboy fan in the stands with just this dejected look like, what the hell just happened? Watch out. Watch out, Cowboys. Rams and Lions after that. This is one of the greatest games that you see. Jared Goff gets to go back to Detroit, and Matt Stafford faces his old team as well. And this is one of the most even trades ever in the NFL. Matt Stafford for Jared Goff, and now they face each other in Detroit in a stadium that will be absolutely the wildest stadium of the weekend. And your places you want to be on Friday this is probably it. This is probably where you want to be this weekend, is in Detroit, Michigan, in that stadium with their team taking on their old quarterback. This is going to be a fantastic, fantastic game. A great scene. Detroit hadn't been in the playoffs in 30-something years. They are going to absolutely blow the roof off of that place. Of course, Barry Sanders will probably be there. I'm sure they'll do something to have him say something. It'll be amazing. That will be an incredible, incredible atmosphere. And not only incredible atmosphere, but also an incredible football game. It's Detroit -3 right now. So basically, you get 2.5, 3 points for playing at home. So this is a pick'em. This is a pick'em game, and it's going to be fun to watch. That's going to be a blast. I'm excited for that football game. But the playoffs are set, or at least the wild card playoffs are set. And then you got Monday night, Eagles and Buccaneers. I'll go more into that game as we get through the week, and probably on Friday or on Monday morning. The Eagles look bad. They look terrible. They look lost. Absolutely lost. I get it. Jalen Hurts snapped his finger out yesterday. The Eagles just look like a bad football team. They look. It looks like the locker room when they walk in, nobody even talks to each other. AJ Brown, knee injury yesterday. I like the Bucks, and then I like the Eagles to fall apart. It just, after what did they start? 8 or 9-0, 11-6, and I like other teams. I do. I like other teams. I mean, the Eagles are not my favorite to go to the Super Bowl at all. Of course, you got the Ravens with a bye, 49ers with a bye, but out of all these games coming up in the wild card weekend, man, that Lions-Rams game, that is most exciting Lions and Rams game, in my opinion. And then, of course, the most impactful, the one that could have the most things happen, is that Packers and Cowboys game. You got upcoming Jordan Love. Dak Prescott had an incredible, incredible year. 36-9. 36-9. He said he wouldn't throw 10 interceptions this year, and guess what? He didn't. They were incredible at home. This is a scary game for me if I'm Mike McCarthy. I am if it's late third quarter and they're down by 6 points, Mike McCarthy will probably have to take some medicine, because if the Cowboys lose at home this weekend in the first round of the playoffs, get ready, buddy. Get ready. You might have to go back to Green Bay. Cowboy fan will be running him out of town 2 minutes afterwards. I don't know, man. Look, you hope if you're a Cowboy fan, there's excitement in the stadium. You hope people are screaming. I don't know. You might hear some boos. You might hear some crazy boos. But like I said, shocker of the NFL season. Congratulations to the Houston Texans making the playoffs. Man, I got roasted yesterday online. By the way, go to Sports with Balls on all your social media outlets. And this, if you missed anything, the podcast will be up directly after this on all your podcast arenas. But, I said, what was the quality win of the Houston Texans? That's all I posted. Oh, people were telling me the Bengals win. No, they didn't even make the playoffs. Joe Burrow was hurt the whole season. Their defense was trash. The Buccaneers win was pretty impressive. That was good. It took a last-second touchdown from CJ to Tank Dell. That was in Tampa, so that was a good win. But the quality wins for the Texans, I mean, look, They were few and far between, I believe, but they face an incredible Browns team. So we'll see. There's it all set up, and we'll look as the week goes on. We're going to dive into this more and more and more. But that was the NFL section of this. Brought to you by Chris's Tailgate. Well, let's go. Brought to you by Modern Home Improvement and Remodeling. Go to modern-homeimprovement.com, 832-930-0156. $500 off when you mention sports with balls to Josh Smith over there, who is the man. And the reason I waited to say Christian's Tailgate is because guess where I'll be tonight? Christian's Tailgate for this national championship game. Oh, this is going to be fun. There's a lot of things happening in this game. The storylines are plentiful in this game. Go to christianstailgate.com. Find one near you. Get to it around 5:30. Game starts at 6:30. It's going to be interesting. What happens with Jim Harbaugh? I'm going to tell you. If they win this game, well, look, first of all, I think his mind's made up. I think Jim Harbaugh's mind is made up. But I think he's gone. I think he already knows. He built this team. They won't even allow him to coach it because of all the sanctions. There's another investigation going on. They're going to suspend him even more. He missed 6 games this year. He missed 6 games. He was suspended 3 for the very beginning of the season and then 3 in the middle of the season. Jim Harbaugh's done with this. And he's going to walk off into the sunset as a champion. I got Michigan tonight. Washington is a great, great team. Michael Penix Jr., he looks amazing. Like, this kid is NFL ready. He can flat out sling the football. It is fun to watch this kid. I think Michigan's just it's just their year. 14-0. I understand Washington's 14-0 as well. It just feels like Michigan. It feels like it's their year. The line's 5.5. Over-under is 55.5, so all 5s. I probably take the over. That's only 28 points a half. I feel like these teams are going to just absolutely ball on each other. Michigan's going to run the football a little bit better, and Washington's going to throw the football a little bit better. J.J. McCarthy is good. Is he Michael Penix? No. I like Michigan tonight. I do. And I like Jim Harbaugh to step out. He's done. Why would he stay in the NCAA anymore? They're basically shoving him out. Now, look, did he do something wrong? So many things like the cheating scandal. There's more investigations going on now into Michigan. So I think he's done. I think he's absolutely done. And the openings are unbelievable. If he goes to Chicago, he's got the number 2 pick in the draft. And you got Justin Fields. You trade it, which a lot of people think Chicago will trade it. Carolina, Los Angeles Chargers, Washington Commanders, who had the number 1 pick. Wait, they got number 1? Is it number 1? Sorry. I don't see how Harbaugh stays. I don't see how he stays. I don't see how he's going to be like, yeah, you know what? I'm going to stay here and ride this out. Especially if he wins tonight. He's already hired. The Raiders. He could go to the Raiders. Las Vegas. Look, I completely understand that Antonio Pierce looks good, but are you hiring stick him with Antonio Pierce, or if Harbaugh says he wants to come, which one are you doing? I'm pretty sure they're going Harbaugh. The guy's done nothing in his career but win. That's right. You're taking Harbaugh all day long. And Belichick, we'll move on to Belichick. Well, no way. I'm just reading something that just popped up on my phone. It says, Michigan Wolverines and Jim Harbaugh are reportedly parting ways. Yep. I don't think that they're going to break that prior to this game, but that's what I'm seeing. And I don't blame them. I don't blame them at all. It is what it is. Harbaugh's got a lot of money waiting on him in the NFL. He doesn't have to deal with these NCAA sanctions, and he's probably going to win a national championship tonight. But I believe he's made up his mind regardless. I really do. I don't think it's a win or lose thing. I think he's made up his mind, but I do like Michigan tonight. Get your butts over to Christian's Tailgate. Find one. Go to christianstailgate.com. We're going to have a blast tonight. Look, more on the show tomorrow morning. Thank you guys for joining me again. And look, I'm going to try. I'm dealing with Facebook to get my Sports with Balls Facebook page back. You damn hackers. Pissed off. Give me my page back. I hate that, man. Some people are just rude. Enjoy your Monday. Enjoy the game tonight. We'll discuss it tomorrow. I'm Jeff Michael. This is Sports with Balls. We'll